Amy Goldstein is a family attorney for Capehart Statchert in Mount Laurel, New Jersey. She actually testified in June before the New Jersey State Senate Judiciary Committee on alimony reform. She also helped draft the legislation, which has been approved by the Senate and the Assembly and now is waiting on Governor Chris Christie. All right, Amy, I want to start with this legislation that you had a hand in writing up. According to it, these reforms include the elimination of permanent alimony and any marriage or civil union lasting less than 20 years. The alimony can't exceed beyond the length of the marriage unless, of course, there are extraneous circumstances. Why do we need alimony reform, in your opinion?
Well, the main reason I think we need alimony reform is that these cases were becoming very unpredictable. It was getting to be a little bit like the Wild West with the different rulings that were coming down from different judges. There was very little predictability about who was going to pay how much alimony and for how long. So we wanted to try to corral that a little bit and bring a little bit of guidance to the system so that the judges could have a sense of where they should all be going as opposed to all going in different directions.
What are some specific ways, Amy, that the alimony system is broken, in your opinion?
Well, that would be the main way, was that people could not predict from one judge to another and from one courtroom to another how long would they be paying alimony and how much alimony would they be paying. So that was something that we really addressed in this new bill that we're hoping that the governor will sign. There was just a lack of predictability kind of across the board, also in other areas, not just as to the amount and the duration, but also when people went to retire. There was a lot of inconsistency among the judges about when people could retire and under what circumstances. Also, when people were losing their jobs during the recession and they were coming into court and trying to get their alimony modified, there was a lot of different rulings coming out about, what circumstances would cause a reduction in alimony. How hard did you have to look for a new job before you could get a reduction? Those kinds of things. And then the last area was cohabitation. When people who are receiving alimony live with a new person and they're still getting an alimony check, we needed to try to get some, guidance there too as well, because people were continuing to pay alimony and their spouse was living with a new person, and sometimes they don't get remarried just so they can keep getting their alimony.
Yeah, and it's interesting. There's not a whole lot of opposition to this bill, and the opposition is mainly in many corners that it doesn't go far enough. I want to read you something. Assemblyman Sean Keene believes that the legislation's a good starting point. He says, quote, I think the governor will sign the bill, but once again, it's the starting point. Don't forget that all those individuals with agreements in place when this bill is signed, much of the law will not impact them. Does that mean, Amy, that it's not retroactive, or will these people have to refile to get their agreements changed, I assume?
Well, actually,